artist friends, I'm sure if you're a little bit like me, you probably suffer from lazy artist brush cleaning syndrome. Now that's not an official thing, I just made it up, but it's left a lot of my paintbrushes, like you can see, in kind of poor health. So I thought I'd see if I could get them clean, and my first step here is separating the good from the bad. I'm throwing all of those not great brushes into that purple cup and the ones that are still wonderful into that white cup over there. As you can see, I have quite a few brushes that need a little reviving. Now that I have them separated, it's time to try to clean them, and I thought I would try out the Murphy oil soap method. Now, I didn't do any research, I didn't look up any proportions or what I'm supposed to do. I've seen some artists here and there use it, so I thought I would just throw it in this glass mug here, throw my brushes in, and see what happens. First fair warning is don't use a mug or container that you mind getting ruined, because after washing this container out several times, it no longer says creative juice. I think it says creative ooze or ice or something like that. A couple of the letters actually fell off. I put enough of the soap in that mug there just to cover the bottom part of the brushes where the little fibers are, and I'm going to let this sit about a day or so and then check in on it. So this is a day later, and some of these brushes were pretty bad. I can see that some of the paint has come off into that Murphy oil soap there. I'm swooshing them around and they still feel a little hard, so I don't have a lot of hope that many of them are going to be ready, but some of them were just slightly gross and with leftover paint or mediums in them, so I thought maybe just a day would help some of the smaller brushes, and I'm going to go through and just work on them, kind of smush some of the oil into them, the oil soap, not oil, to try to kind of like massage those bristles a little bit, see if any of them are ready, kind of break them apart because that oil soap has softened some of them a little bit. So a lot of these brushes I either forgot about and didn't get them in the water, or I didn't get them cleaned all the way, and so some of them are completely rock hard because I used them like in matte medium and didn't get them in the water. Or some of them just, I didn't get them cleaned a lot, and so they're like half hard and half workable. And so I kind of had been collecting them over several months in a pile of ones that didn't work, or just getting frustrated and throwing them back into the container. So these are just a mix of ones that are awfully hard and ones that are just half hard. And you can see that I'm getting a handful, maybe 4 or 5 over there that are ready, that are completely fixed in a way, and the rest I'm going to let soak for some time later. So these ones that are on my table, I'm going to take them over to the sink after this and get that Murphy oil soap completely washed out of them so it doesn't affect any future artwork. And now that I've gone through them, massaged the bristles a little bit, I'm going to let them sit for another day and see what happens. Alright, now we're at 2 days later, and I can see that Murphy's oil soap in my mug is a little bit more cloudy. There's a little bit more paint in it, and there's a little bit more give on some of these brushes as I stir them around. And so I'm going to do the same process here, kind of try to break up some of the bristles, massage them, and see if any of them are fixed or if they need to soak a while longer. After just 2 days, some of the smaller brushes were ready to go, as I kind of suspected, but a lot of the larger ones that were a lot more stuck together, a lot more ruined, need some more time. So I'm going to put these back in and probably let it set about a week longer. Alright, so we're at about 8 days later here, and they are starting to break down a lot more. That soap in my cup has gotten super cloudy, And I'm going to really massage these bristles here. Try to kind of clean the goopy paint and matte medium out of them. See if a lot of them are ready. And just after a week, you can see how many I'm putting down on my table that are ready to go. I'm actually so excited about reviving these brushes because a couple of them I had only used once or twice before I left them on my table and didn't get them put back into the water. This is one reason that I mostly use pretty cost-effective brushes for my mixed media artwork. I use these Simply Simmons brushes. This is not an ad. I actually really like how they perform, but because they're just a few dollars, $3 to $4 a brush, I cannot get so frustrated when I ruin them, except when I ruin them after the first time of using them. However, that $3 to $4 adds up, so I wanted to try to fix them here. I added some more Murphy's oil soap into my mug to kind of revive the solution in there, and now this is 18 days later. I'm hoping soaking them for, what is that? 7 times 3 is 21, almost 3 weeks, that they're going to be a lot more pliable, a lot more workable, and hopefully I'm going to get some more brushes here that I can use. So it's helping a lot. Some of these really bad brushes are breaking down, but I decided to put them back in a fresh solution to see if that would help, because that one was so cloudy, it seemed like it wasn't working as well. So I dumped it out, cleaned up my mug, and then I'm going to go back in here and just check to see if there were a couple more brushes. I thought maybe there were some that maybe needed just a day or two that I didn't originally put down, and since it was working, I'm just looking through my brushes again to add a couple more. I'm really excited how this is working. So now we're at about 26 days later with fresh solution and those few stubborn brushes that were left. I'm going to go through them all, work on massaging those bristles a little bit, see if I can get them broken apart, and see if after, what is this now, 4 weeks almost, if these were successful and if I got 100% clean brushes. I added just a little bit of water here to make that solution not so thick, and I'm going through that same process here of checking on the brushes and seeing if some of them are completely finished. Just a little side note here, I want to talk a little bit about this cleaning process. I have cleaned brushes once before. I used a solution by a paintbrush company that was way more like chemically smelling and had a lot more like warnings on it, and this Murphy oil soap is a little bit more of a natural product, so I was excited to try it on my brushes. It has kind of a like maybe a citronella kind of smell to it. It's not offensive at all unless you don't like that smell. It was a lot more safe than that chemical solution that I used, and I'm really happy with the results. So 49 days later, I just have 2 brushes that were not working, and yeah, it just didn't come out of those brushes. I'm not sure if they were just too far gone. I don't know what was in them, but look at all these brushes. See this one in the beginning that I tapped on that was completely hard? All of the gunk came out of it, and I have almost a set of brand new brushes. So I highly recommend this Murphy's oil soap. Be sure you read the backs of it, all of the important information, the safety and all that kind of stuff. I will link it below, and I will also link the chemical one if I can find it in case you're interested in that. But here is a great tip and trick. Get some Murphy's oil soap and refresh your brushes. You have a completely new set. Thanks so much for watching, and I'm going to go off and paint with my new brushes now.